Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something that might shock you, okay? Now, consider these 3 examples that I give you. 3 examples, okay? Where these people try to harm me, or through their actions, they wanted to harm me. And where I really wanted to get back to them. Get back to them in such a bad manner where not only harm them, maybe to a point where I'm ashamed to say I wanted to physically harm them. I wanted to physically harm the family. You know, like you're talking about thoughts like Ted Bundy or serial killer. You know, you have this, because you see so many movies, you think, okay, I'll take the knife, I'll do this, I'll do that. So really sick thoughts, okay? I'm going to confess and give you these 3 examples. The first one, at number 3, the lowest, you can put in, you know, my relationships, my girlfriends, okay? One is this girl who tattooed whose face I've tattooed on my chest, okay? This was the female who I loved, and she dropped me like a hot fucking potato, man. She dropped me like a hot potato because she found this better guy, and I was begging, pleading, crying, sobbing. I went through 3 months of depression where 3 months, just imagine 3 months sitting and crying, not going out of the house. It's like until that time I used to laugh at others who used to go through emotional breakup. But when it happened to me, I never knew that I loved this girl so much. I was crying, and what made it so complicated was I really loved this girl. I really cared about her. I wanted to take care of her. I wanted to, you know, and on top of that, she was also, you know, sick. She was diabetic, and you know, you have the soft corner. It's like someone you deeply love but you don't want to harm. So it was painful, okay? And she dumped me like a hot potato. Just dumped me, and I was devastated. 3 months I was every day sitting at home and crying. And then it really took me, I think, close to, I don't know, 4-5 years just to get out of it, okay? Just imagine that. And the second categorization in that relationship was this girl who I wanted to marry. Just imagine, she was like my childhood buddy or childhood best friend or whatever. I wanted to marry her. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to, you know, be happy. And when she dumped me, the reason she gave me is, how can I introduce someone like you to my family? Imagine the girl I'm sleeping with, I'm having sex with, I'm having a relationship with. We are having sex almost every single day. Passionate sex like no one else's business, okay? And she's telling me, how can I introduce you to anyone in my family? What will they think? What will society think? How can I? And the most painful was, tomorrow if you have a baby, how can I tell that baby, this freak is your father? Or when I go to school, people will say, look at that freak. How can I introduce you? What will society think? You know, so that was so painful to know that, you know, you're telling me that tomorrow when you have a baby, you'll be ashamed. Trust me, at that time, it was very, very painful because I was very vulnerable. Okay, so this was at number 3. At number 2 was the employer who I worked for, and you know, you can Google search 2011, you know, Loy Macedo suicide. He was the one responsible for sending me off to India, trying to cancel my visa. Not only forget cancel the visa, he was trying to put a lifetime ban where I couldn't come back. He really tried to destroy my life, really, in a very bad way. And you know, to the point of being pushed to suicide. the fire it created in me, the anger, the rage, I really actually wanted to kill him. I actually wanted to harm him, to the point it became an obsession where I was having like serial killer kind of thoughts, you know, like kill him, kill his family, kill his wife, kill his children. It was so dark. It was so dark. It was so ugly, you know. I'm ashamed to say that I even entertained such thoughts. So it was like horrible. And I wanted to get back at him. I wanted to really harm him. It was that much anger. And last, if not the least, it is my parents and my uncle. My stepfather, for abusing me all these years. He abused me. He, you know, as a small boy, he abused me really bad. Today, when I look at my small little daughter, I ask myself, how could my stepfather harm a small child like that? You know, what kind of fucking animal is he? My mother, for ignoring me and focusing on money, that was her priority. I mean, why do you fucking give birth if you're such a first-class bitch, man? And my uncle, for sexually molesting and raping me repeatedly. You know, they leave a mark on your life. So now, these were the 3 most darkest episodes of my life. Well, in between there have been others, but they have not been so dark. Okay, I've had my first experience with internet bullying, where people made fun of my stomach and how fat I was. I've had people who make fun of me online and talk stuff. So that's okay. But now I'll tell you, how did I get back at these people, and how it is important to use anger and rage in the right way. Okay, now, with regards to my girlfriends, okay, now, most of the relationships, what guys and girls do is, they name and shame each other. They go to Facebook and they try to insult the person's name, or they will share private details and destroy the person's reputation. Well, it's not that I didn't think of all this. I also wanted to do all this. Just go on social media and name and shame them. In case of one of my girlfriends, I even had sex videos and photographs and, you know, nudes, and I could have just put this all online. I could have shared it with other people, and believe me, it would have destroyed them completely. In hindsight, I can tell you, I'm glad I never did that. I'm really glad I never did that, because today, 10 years later, when I look back, I'm cooled down. I don't feel that sense of, that intensity is not there, that pain is there, that intensity is not there, that anger is not there. I'm glad I didn't do anything. But at that time, I really wanted to. You'll not believe. And I'm glad I didn't react to that. I'm glad I bottled it up. Because it's because I bottled it up that, you know, the girl, Anita, who who left me, I have grown immensely. I have grown so much from what I was. I would say I've grown, I don't know, 15 times, 20 times, much better, more happier. I have this beautiful wife, I have this lovely baby, I have this paradise of a life, I have this great career. You know, in fact, you can look at it from a slightly twisted mind and say, I enjoyed with so many other girls also in between. But see, the main thing is, because I focused on me, because I focused on being better, I'm enjoying the last laugh. Today, as far as I know, this girl, she's diabetic, okay? She's born diabetic. Now, it's not me being happy, yeah, you deserved it. No, it's nobody's fault. She was born diabetic. Now, she's not yet married. She's trying to find a suitable guy. Her parents lost their business, their money, everything. And she's struggling very badly. She is really struggling badly. Now, this is not to gloat. This is not to feel great. It's just what she bought on herself. My other girlfriend who told me that she would be ashamed to introduce me to the family. She wanted someone who she'll celebrate Christmas with, and she made me feel so small, She told me, like, how can I introduce you as the son of my, how can I introduce as the father of my kid? What will society say? He'll be so ashamed to have a father like you who's tattooed, who looks like a freak. It was very painful at that time, very painful. But today I have a wife who is absolutely proud of me. I have a baby who is, I couldn't ask for a better baby. So happy now. And, I managed to get a much more younger girl to get married to. I got a really loving, caring, sweet girl. I got a gift, Okay, forget the physical attribute that she's younger and she's more beautiful, and her character. That other female, she's very strong and she's very career oriented. This one just takes care of me. As a man, which one would you want? I'm so happy. And okay, I'm not going to gloat about the fact that she did get married to whom she wanted. She dumped me for this other guy, but her life got destroyed. Her life got destroyed in the process. She is divorced. She has children. She is single. She has put on double the weight. Her career is in trouble. Her family is in trouble. It's not something that you'd wish for someone. But you can just see, it's more like I'm telling myself, oh, I escaped from all this, Others, I would have gone mad. Now, in terms of this guy, my ex-employer, he tried to destroy me. Now, I'm pretty sure he's still making money. Okay? He is doing well. Fine. But I'm doing equally better. In fact, I'm doing, 5 times, 10 times more better than what I was doing before. I'm pretty successful at my craft. I'm pretty, well settled. But he has to hide behind closed doors. He can't get back to me because he is wanted by so many people. So many people are waiting for him to come back. And they will just pounce on him. Just like the fall of B.R. Shetty. People are waiting to pounce on him. He is going to be in serious trouble. And the enemies that he has made will never forget him. The lives he has destroyed, they will never forget him. He's just on their wanted list, So, what kind of peace is that? People know where his wife is. People know where his daughter is. He'll forever be targeted. What kind of life is that? Then, the last one. My mother and father, my uncle. Okay, in terms of my uncle, he is no more. He's dead. Okay. That was, when someone is dead, he's dead. Finished. With regards to my mother and father, they've lost everything. Stepfather, they've lost everything. 30 years of working, 30 years of savings. They lost everything. I'm not going to kind of rub salt on their wounds, but they never believed in me. They believed in my stepbrother. Okay, thankfully my stepbrother is now finally serious. He's taking his career serious. He's in his 30s. He's going to settle down. So he's not like a failure, but my mother specifically thought he's going to be a multi-millionaire or he's going to be this great whatever. And now they are just sitting bitter in the village in Mangalore with nothing. Nobody, nothing. Just living on the mercies of whomsoever. In fact, I'll tell you, I I've even told my wife this. I'm glad that they treated me like shit and abused me. So now I don't have to send them any money. I'm so glad. It's net savings for me. I don't have to take care of them. I know it's kind of sinister, but that's a fact. So now, see, here's the thing. In all three categories, in all three examples, had I reacted to anger, maybe post something violent or just try to destroy their name, reputation, the satisfaction would have been there. I would have, yes, I have the upper hand. But the satisfaction would have been very short-lived. Very, very short-lived. And it would vanish. But then the other person would be burning and they would want to get back to me. But here, because I did not respond, or I couldn't respond, or I didn't have the means to respond, it was bubbling inside, it was boiling inside. And that made me crazy, And I'll tell you, in my personality is such where if something gets to me, I'm obsessed. I am so obsessed, you have no idea. That obsession will drive me to the ends. And I'm kind of glad that I never hurt or harm anyone, because that would have been so terrible, See, I'll tell you, read the newspapers. You will see boyfriend shoots girlfriend to death. They have been jailed. They have ended up, okay, he took the car and he smashed into this person, and they have lost their arm, they have lost their leg, they have lost a loved one, and then they are in jail for the rest of their life. Is that worth it? Being 10 years, 20 years, 30 years in jail. What kind of revenge is that? Who did you take revenge on? Okay, you killed the person, but now you're in jail for the rest of your life. What a curse that is. It's like every day of your life, your whole life is a punishment. Okay, you die once, but you're suffering now for 30 years of your life. What kind of revenge is that? And this is the problem when you react to rage, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous, because in the end you'll only suffer. You'll only be the one to pay the price, nobody else. For me, I've just been lucky. I'll tell you, I've just been plain lucky, because I never had a father or a mother or a elder figure to guide me. I've just been plain lucky that I'm glad I never took revenge. I'm glad that I was not this gutsy, courageous, crazy guy who wanted to take revenge, or who had the courage to take revenge. I'm glad I was a little bit of a coward. I was afraid, because when this happened, it kind of stayed in me and it kept bothering me. And this really pushed me to get better. I'll tell you, I've made this video before where I spoke of how I took revenge on my ex-girlfriends. How did I take revenge? Not by harming them, by focusing on my self-growth. See, think about it. Which is the greatest punishment you can give anyone? The greatest punishment, think there are two options. One is you harm them. Another one is you focus on yourself to be so good, so successful, so better, that this your enemy or your hater cannot sleep, cannot eat, cannot live, cannot tolerate it, cannot bear it. They have to live with the embarrassment that you're 10 times better, 20 times better, more successful. Which is more better? Ask yourself. Through my life, I've realized that these people who hate you or trolls or whatever, it's a very funny thing about them. I'm not saying all of them, but most of them live very sad lives. They live very broken lives. They live very fragmented lives. It's like either they don't have a husband, or they don't have children, or their lives are miserable, or they're living on other people's mercy, or they're trying to show on Instagram and Facebook, oh, I'm so successful, oh, I'm beautiful, oh, I have this great career, I'm at peace. They fool themselves. They're just trying to fool themselves. But deep down, they're very unhappy. They are miserable. They will watch your videos. They will check your Facebook updates. They will see your photograph, and they can't take it. They can't bear. They want to prove to the world, I'm better. I'll make this person's life miserable. And they'll constantly attack you, constantly, prod you, constantly drive you mad. Now, if you get back at them, I'll tell you they have won because you reacted. But on the other hand, if you allow it to, all that pain, all that anger, everything to go inside you, to boil, to drive you, oh, I'll tell you, it will be very painful. It'll be very uncomfortable. It'll be something that you cannot describe. It'll make you sleep less. It'll make you eat less. It will not allow you to sleep at night. It will make you toss and turn. It'll get you angry. You'll snap at others. But if you learn to channelize it, learn to just put it deep inside and let it become like this kind of nuclear reactor, it can fucking drive you, man. It'll give you the power. It'll give you the focus. It'll give you the obsession. It'll give you the anger to really succeed. With regards to my ex-girlfriend, the girl who I tattooed her face here, well, I used that anger to tattoo more and more of my body in pain. It drove me. Today I'm 10 times better. I have an amazing life. Had I taken her, it would have been a fucking disaster. Like, I did speak to her, we made peace. And she herself told me, you'd have to drag my dead body with diabetes. You'd have to take care of me. Which is true. I would have to take care of her for the rest of my life. And she's diabetic, and diabetic people, it's like slow death. Your eyesight gets destroyed. Your organs get destroyed. Your health gets destroyed. It's a terrible disease. Diabetes is a terrible, it's a curse. It's like slow death, And she was right. With regards to this other girl who said she's ashamed of me, her marriage life is broken. Her personal life is broken. Her professional life is broken. Her family life is broken. Her financial life is broken. This is not me hating on her. This is what has happened. And thankfully, I'm out of it. I don't have to carry her. It's not that she's depending on anyone, but I'll tell you, it does impact you. Instead, I have this beautiful wife. I have this beautiful baby, and I'm more successful. So it's because I didn't focus on harming them. I could have used their sexual photographs, videos. I didn't. I bottled it up. With regards to my ex-employer, see, I'm far more better today. I'm happier, I'm stronger, I'm more successful. Okay, he still has more money, but he doesn't have any peace of mind. And I'll tell you, it's raining there, you can see. You can literally hear the rain. You can see the rain on the mountains. I think it'll come here, not too sure. So this guy is destroyed, and I'll tell you, he's just inching closer to his destruction, because as he gets older, all his enemies will gang up on him. All the people who are waiting for him to come back, either that or they will go and destroy him. So that is with regards to him. And once again, it has helped me. Okay, my uncle just died. Fine. I can't do anything with regards to my uncle. My parents, they brought the curse on themselves. But the pain that they made me go through has made me a better human being, a better father to my baby, a more better husband to my wife, has made me take smart decisions, sensible decisions. And today, it's like the pain that I went through has made me a better coach, a better trainer. It has made me want to read more books. The insecurity, the imperfections, the bad upbringing has made me a much better human being, where I'm not focusing on others, I'm focusing on myself. And day and night, the childhood memories haunt me, It drives me, it makes me, you get up with this like anger, and all these years it has not died. There have been people who bullied me for being fat online. This was at the age of 30. They bullied and made fun of me, all these school kids. And I'm glad they did, because I decided to lose weight. I lost 30 kgs and I got back into bodybuilding. Had they not done that, I would have been in my comfort zone. I've told you this story, Santosh, that runner, 50-year-old yoga guy, because he laughed at me and mocked me in front of everyone for a marathon running thing, I focused on being the best marathon runner, being the best cyclist, being the best triathlete, swimmer. I didn't break any records, but from what I was to what I became, and I beat him in a race twice. Okay, I retired. He eventually continued. I'm pretty sure he's faster than me today, but we settled the score. And on the day it mattered, I beat him. On the day it mattered. And today we are friends. It's not that we hate each other, we are friends. So, what am I trying to tell you? See, even today, I'll tell you, even today, I still have enemies. I still have people who want to see me fail. I still have people who want me destroyed. They are there. Don't think for a moment that they are not there. Are they people who make me lose my sleep? Are they people who make me toss and turn? Are they people who make my blood boil where I can't get back to them? Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. Without a doubt. There are people who assume that they got the last laugh and they are laughing and they are happy. And I'm glad, I am so fucking glad. It's painful for me to say this, but I'm glad that they are having the last laugh now, because day and night it bothers me. Day and night it makes me obsessed. Day and night it rages that fire in me. It keeps me on the edge. It stops making me comfortable. See, you look at any internet personality, any internet celebrity, any YouTuber. The best example, Jordan Peterson, such an amazing, intellectual, powerful mind. Jordan Peterson, all these youngsters, college graduates and social justice warriors, they all ganged up together on him, to the point where such a tough-minded man, a 50-year-old, such a powerful guy, he went for a mental breakdown, complete, utter mental breakdown, to the point where he was going to kill himself. Just imagine that. Such a powerful guy, so powerful, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, it went to the part of him wanting to kill himself, to die. We have seen this over and over again, whether it's Michael Jackson, whether it is any celebrity star. The haters have pushed them to the limit where they wanted to harm or hurt themselves. Britney Spears went through it. Justin Timberlake went through it. Justin Bieber went through it. Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens. If you are a strong personality and you have a strong opinion, you will have. Now, I'm not going to put myself in that league, by no means, please. I'm not done anything to deserve to be in that category, not even 1%. But I do face my share of challenges. Like right now, there are a couple of individuals who day and night, they're doing whatever it can to make my life terrible. Day and night. They're not stopping. But what I'm doing is, I'm taking it all in. Every message, every email, every phone call, every SMS. I store it. I store it in this folder. I read it every single day. It boils me, I'll tell you. It boils me. But I read it, I look at it. I'm telling you, there have been days where I've not been able to sleep. I've not been able to eat. The full day, I was not able to eat. I was not able to sleep at night. I kept tossing and turning. One day, I just was completely broken down. I was unable to think. I was unable to sit. I nearly lost it, and I was about to shout at my wife and baby. I locked myself in the room. My wife was worried. I'll tell you, yesterday night, I got up at around 12 because I was going through those messages. It was bothering me again. I went for 3 hours. went to sleep, got up, and then I got my wife out and she was preparing coffee for me. This is just today, today, just a few hours before this. And I told her what I was going through. She was shocked. She was like, shit, you were going through all this time? I said, yes. She was shocked and she almost was going to break down in tears. I said, it's okay. It's not for you to be sad. I didn't want to tell you because I knew you'd feel all this. And I told her, I made her understand how my mind works, how my brain works, how I work. She, she's a different person, so she couldn't, I guess, accept my strategy. But I made her understand and I let her know that I still loved her and still love the baby, but I had to fight these battles by myself. And she told me she'll do whatever it takes to support me to succeed. So, and then I'll tell you, I got up, ate food, I worked the whole bloody night. I worked up to, I think, 7 in the morning till I couldn't work anymore. Went to sleep, now got up, did my exercise. Once again, I'm making this video. You'll not believe, you will find this surprising if I tell you. It was so bad, the whole, this phase that I went through of these, 4, 5, 6 people, all of them ganging up together, that for 1 week, I think, I was not able to put a video without breaking down in between. I was not able to talk to any client properly. I was constantly down. It was so bad, and it has been going on for months. But now, when you go weak, now your human body, the mind is such that you go down, 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 down. Then if you're not dead, from there suddenly something happens and your body starts becoming strong. It's like the Hulk. You start absorbing, and there you start to rise. It's like karate, or it's like bodybuilding, or it's like exercise. The first time you do, you're dying and you're dead and you're exhausted and you're tired and you can't do it, and you cry and you vomit and the pain is too much. Then you try again, then you try again, then you try again, then again, and then again, and then slowly, now what happens is you start becoming stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and then you become like, fuck, you become an animal of a different kind. I'm glad that these people are there. I'm glad that these 4, 5 people are there. I'm so glad. I read each and every message of theirs every single day. They send me more than 5, 10, 15, 20. I read every SMS of theirs. I read every message. I read every email. Do you know that I've had calls where 20, 30 calls non-stop. They will call. They will send messages about my wife, about my baby, about me. You're talking of a whole gang of people. And I take it all in. And it makes me stronger. See, there are only 2 things that will happen. Either one, I'll mentally break down and I'll die. That anyway, then it's a permanent sleep. I don't have to worry. It's finished. Game over. Or I become stronger. I become better. It's like they putting their nose up my ass and smelling and, focusing on me. But me focusing on myself. So either sink or swim. Either do or die. And I'll tell you, every single day, I focus to become better. And that is what has helped me become better. How do you think I get this drive to run? Even when my legs are paining, or my body is aching, or my back is aching, or I'm exhausted, or I get a stitch, or I feel lazy. It is these people who drive me. It is these people who motivate me. It is these people who push me. And we need these people. Otherwise, if you had everyone speaking sweet, nice, amazing stuff, you never realize the value, It's like just as if you eat too many sweets, you can get diabetes. If you eat only sweet, you'll never appreciate salt, or you'll never appreciate spices. Or it's like, if you never eat spicy once, you'll never know what is your capacity. And then once you kind of eat that spicy thing, you know, it was too hot, but then you want to try it again. It's too hot and you want to try it again. You know, the first time I ate Thai food, I couldn't tolerate it. I was like going to die. Today I eat chili, I eat spicy food. For a guy who never ate spicy food, almost 30 or 40 years of his life, who couldn't take spicy food. 40 years. Today I eat, you know, I tell my wife, put chili, I like a little bit of spicy. I drink spicy soup. So it's all good. So my message to my haters is, bring it on. I'm serious, bring it on. As much as you can, bring it on. Because only two things. See, and I'm talking to you. I'm not looking left, right, nothing. I'm talking to you. Bring it on. Because only two things will happen. One is I'll get destroyed and you win. And if I'm destroyed, finished. I didn't deserve to live. But if I do live now, I succeed and you fail. Every single day that I am in pain, every single day that you give me these missed calls, that you send these messages, these emails, these attacks, every single day you do that, no? You add a little bit of fuel into that fire and it makes me strong. It drives me, it makes me sleep less. It pisses me off that I can do something but I'm not doing. But that's good. That is what has driven me. And through this fire, I will provide a better life for me. I'll provide a better life for my wife, for my child. And guess who's going to have the last laugh? So I need you to continue doing what you're doing. Focus on me. And I'm serious. This is not reverse psycho. I want you to focus on me. Because you will focus on me and I will focus on myself. And every single day it'll push me to make smarter decisions, better decisions, be more intelligent, be on the edge. Because I know the world is a cruel place. You would want me to kill myself. You'd want me to suicide. You would want me to fail. You'd want me to destroy my earnings, my livelihood. But that keeps me on the edge. I don't know how long I can take it. Maybe one day I'll just break down and kill myself. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just no longer want to live. Or maybe that can happen. Absolutely. But this is how I've been built. From the day I was born, my mother and my stepfather tortured me. My own father abandoned me. I was bullied in school. I was bullied in church. I was bullied in college. I was bullied at work. I was made to feel less than better. I was compared. I was cheated. I was laughed at. But you see where I am today? I don't know if mine will be a happy ending or maybe it'll be a tragedy. I don't know. I wish I could look so far ahead into the future and give you an answer, but I can't. There's no, in the real world, there's no happy ending. You can, like this UFC fighter, there was this UFC fighter whose daughter, teenage daughter, got raped and killed. And he came back. He was supposed to fight with this guy, his name is Overeem, UFC. He was supposed to fight with Overeem. And he dedicated the fight to his daughter's memory. And he worked very hard. In movies, the man who is fighting for the memory of his daughter would win the fight. When he fought with Overeem, they both respected each other. Imagine a father whose daughter just died is fighting on her memory to win, to dedicate. In a movie, he would have won. Sadly, this is not a movie. He lost the fight. And he broke down and he cried. It must have pained him even more. I don't know if he'll ever fight again. you know, the ideal situation would be that he dedicated the loss to his daughter. Sorry, the victory to his daughter, but he lost. This is how life is, you know. You can talk about karma, you can talk about... Oh, fucking bullshit, man. There's no fucking karma. If there was, bad guys wouldn't succeed. Good guys would always have everything good for them. Nobody would die of hunger, nobody would die of floods. Parents would not lose their children, mothers would not lose their loved ones, their children, their babies. This heaven hell is all bullshit, you know, it's all here and now. So there's no guarantee or assurance for karma, for justice. But the only thing one can do is fight every single day. So you guys go ahead, focus on me. Focus on me as much as you can. Every comment, every email, every phone call, every missed call, every attack on my baby, on my wife, on me, my reputation. I want you to continue doing that. Because it will burn inside me. I'll keep it locked in. And it drives me, man. Otherwise I'd be lazy, I'll tell you that. I really would have been lazy. And the day I can't take it anymore, obviously I can't fight against the whole world. The day I can't take it anymore, maybe I'll end my life, or, you know, like Michael Jackson, overdose on something. Or like Jordan Peterson, just mentally break down. You know, you never know. Maybe I might lose. But if I do, it's like, at least, it was a good goddamn fight, man. It was a good goddamn fight. And, you know, at the end you won, I lost. So fair play. You win. And then obviously you will be dead bored and you will want to search for your next victim, and then your life will go on. And you'll continue doing this till you're old, and one fine day you'll be like, now what do I do? Either life will get back and bite you in the ass, or you'll just lose the purpose of life. But for guys like me, it just helps us get better. So I just want to tell all my haters, all these people, not these small haters, man. I'm talking the real hardcore ones. People like my stepfather. People like that uncle who raped and molested me. People like that ex-employee who tried to destroy me. People, in a small way, it's not big. My ex-girlfriends who laughed at me and made me go through that brief period of pain. I don't wish you bad. You're not that serious. People who today drive me, make me, who give me that kind of like, where I'm not able to eat, not able to sleep, not able to do my work, not able to focus on my earning. Yes, you're succeeding in the short run. Long run, I'll tell you, I'm going to be better. Because especially when I don't get back to you. Especially when I don't get back to you. So, just want to tell you thank you. Sincerely, from the heart. Sincerely. Because that is what makes me stronger. Others I'd be lazy. I'd be complacent. I'd be mediocre. If today, with this tattooed face, with this no educational qualifications, with this all this nonsense, I'm able to survive, sustain, thrive, grow, it's because of all this hate, this anger, this pain. And that is what is my motivation. It took me a couple of days to make this video. Just imagine, every time I made this video, it didn't come out well. That much of pain, discomfort was there. But eventually now I'm recovering. And I'm going to try now again. Get up. It's like I fall down, get back up. Fall down, get back up. Fall down, get back up. Don't stop. So that's it, man. You guys make me better. Thank you. That's all I want to tell you. And for anyone out there who is going through the same shit, That's what you got to do, man. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody cares. You can cry, you can sob, you can... End of the day, you're on your own. So guys, this is what I wanted to share with you. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Agree, disagree. And yeah, we'll call it a day. Alright? You guys take care.